Okay, we are back again on the responsible tourism. Responsible tourism. So, we will talk about being responsible in the tourism industry. So, when we're talking about the responsible tourism in this topic outline how we should be in tourism, trying to make sure that it teaching is tourist in businesses, individuals in businesses, how people should be, how people should act, and also how way we are acting can affect the tourism business as well. So the first concept is being understanding responsible tourism. So responsible tourism, it is refers to how we conduct tourism, how we supposed to conduct this tourism. Both meaning that it focuses both on as an individual, how you should conduct yourself as a person, as a tourist, in our language, how you conduct as a tourist in terms of the business, how the business should conduct themselves in terms of being responsible individuals, in terms of being responsible, and the impact that it has, meaning that the way we conduct ourselves, the business, how the impact will be, meaning that if we don't conduct ourselves right, the impact that might have on the environment and the people. So the way we see things. So it's being responsible. As a person, you have to be responsible as well. Responsible to the nature, responsible to other tourists. Um, okay, so you need to understand the term responsible at the end of the topic. How we should be to the tourism industry, how the business should be, and also the individual. Individual, we call it tourist, and also how that can affect the environment. Okay, so in order for us to conduct ourselves right, there is a code of conduct, meaning that the code of conduct is a set of rules that needs to be followed by each and every individual. So code of conduct for responsible tourism, meaning they telling us that the code of conduct for tourism behavior is a set of guidelines, meaning that these rules are guidelines in terms of guiding each and every individuals for tourists to help them to understand how to act. So these rules are set for the tourists, give guidelines to the tourist how they should be acting, what is right, what is not right, in terms of what is appropriate at the destination, meaning that there is no littering that is take place. You don't take any shell or any stones. Those are the kind of guidelines that are appropriate that each and everyone should be following, especially to learners because they are still young, so they have to be able to know these things. Okay, code of conduct, responsible tourism. I've indicated that. Then why we endure these rules, because it's important to follow these rules, because if you don't follow these rules of code of conduct, you might be in jeopardy of maybe using a car, then your car is being destroyed. Maybe you hit an animal in the zoo. So it's important to follow these rules, because you might damage your car, your vehicle, you might kill an animal. So it's important that we make sure that we listen when we're being told. We act responsible as a tourist. Okay, code of conduct, responsible tourism. So in this PowerPoint, they have used Kruger National Park as an example. So what they are trying to say is that suggest example of applicable code of conduct. So they are giving us the actual uh, example of code of conduct in terms of from Kruger National Park. So the code of conduct will be about environmental side, will be about people, will be about economy. As we indicate that in sustainability, environment has to do with the planet, people has to do with people, economy has to do with the what? With the profit as well. Okay, so let's see these examples that they will give us on based on Kruger National Park's environmental, people, economy. Okay, so environmental code of conduct, meaning that environmental, there should be limit use of energy. In a destination, there should be limit use of energy, and also there should be a use of reuse, recycling instruction given how to do it, meaning that Kruger National Park will give such identify indigenous species, meaning that indigenous species must be identified, and also interesting fact about local ecosystem. Stay on designed road path, meaning that you have to follow that particular path. You don't use your own path or roads. You follow the roads that are given to you. Environment. Don't trade your own path. Support environmental initiative, conservation project, meaning that any person that is visiting there is encouraged to support any conservation project to conserve, making sure you look after environment. Keep respect distance from wild animals, meaning that you have to respect animals to distance yourself from them. Take photos, only leave footprint, only leave car when you're allowed, meaning that in the picture that was there above, meaning that you leave a car, uh, keep windows closed, meaning you close windows, don't do some weird stuff, meaning the environmental code of conduct, it has to do with environment. So these are the things that you should be following when you're visiting Kruger National Park on the code of conduct. Then social code of conduct, meaning that study the local culture before visiting, meaning that before you visit, you take time and do your own research about the culture of that particular Kruger National Park. You must respect local culture. Don't do things your own way. Respect their culture on how people that are hired there, how they do things, because it's them who are working there. You go there as a tourist. Tradition, holy places. You respect their holy places, especially during the ceremonies. If they have ceremonies like praying ceremonies, all those things, you respect those things. Respect privacy of local people, meaning that Kruger National Park people, you respect their privacy. If you before taking a picture, you ask the way you dress. Don't be dress a short stuff, naked stuff. Being naked there, dress appropriate. Respect the local people way of thinking, meaning that the way of thinking, don't act clever to them. You respect them. Support social project if there is a project that is there for improvement, you trying to make sure that you support them. Do research of crime in area, how to stay safe, meaning that in any area that you are going to, you do a research based on the crime and safety. Support local businesses by buying their product, meaning social has to do with social people, meaning that if there is any small businesses that are there available, you support those particular business. Okay, the social. Then we go to the last one, which is Kruger National Park Economic Code of Conduct, meaning that support fair trade businesses, meaning that you support anything that has to do with fair trade. There must be fair trade. If there is any trade that is taking place between businesses, you support that. Pay the price charged for local product, meaning that the price that is charged there, you pay it. And also hire local guide, meaning that the people who are tour guides you hire them. If there is any local ones that are available, you hire them in the community, and also choose local owned transport, meaning that the transport or accommodation restaurants, you will use these ones that are close by you, local owned transport. Don't use other transport, meaning you choose these ones that are close, and these ones attraction, so that you can work along with those particular places. Find out which product, local product is available, meaning that you find out which product is available. Avoid imported goods, meaning that you buy products here, you don't take stuff from the other areas. That's economic code of conduct. So, how tourism establishment attract environmental conscious tourism? So, tourists want to know they support businesses that are implemented responsible to sustain practice. So, how to tourism establishment attract environmental tourists? So, tourists want to know what they support business. So, tourists are eager to know what the business is supporting that implements responsible, so that if they know what they support, that will show that the business is responsible and it's practicing responsible tourism. Market the business as a responsible tourism to the destination, meaning that the tourists will be interested because they know that the business it's marketing itself, and the business is playing a role in being responsible. Keep the destination clean, meaning that the destination will be clean and well maintained. Tourists love to experience that particular place that is clean. Natural assets should be protected and marketed, meaning that assets of nature base wise should be protected, and they must be used for marketing as well. That's why the tourists love to making sure that they know anything about. So how tourists can be responsible at the destination. So these are the ways that trying to outline how tourists should behave, showing that they are responsible. Fires, meaning that a tourist is not allowed to start any fire in a particular area, dispose of matches or cigarette butts in the bins, meaning that you take your cigarette and throw it in the bin one days that may create a fire. Animals, meaning that you don't feed animals. You just you don't just feed animals, because by feeding them you might be causing a problem to them because you don't know what they're supposed to be eating. So don't feed animals, don't approach the animals. Natural keepsake, do not take, meaning that natural, you don't just take shells in the oceans or anything indigenous, plant or flower. You're not allowed to do that, to just take anything. Seafood, ensure that seafood is not part of the endangered species list, meaning that the seafood that you're taking, meaning that you don't just take any seafood, because you might take something that these seafood are in danger, meaning that there is limited of them and we might have shortage of them in future. So you don't just take things. Trees, meaning plants, trees do not chop down, meaning that if you are there, you don't just chop trees, meaning that by chopping trees you reduce the carbon footprint. Organic food, first choice of all time, meaning take own shopping bags, meaning you take your own shopping bag, which is you use it, you take the one that you use it, meaning that you act responsible. Anything that you have been used, you take into the bin, rubbish. Act as a responsible person. Okay, then we are on our last part, which is the FTT. So the FTT stands for Fair Trade Tourism. The Fair Trade Tourism. So the Fair Trade, it's a non-profit organization that promote the best practice responsible tourism in Africa. It's all about fairness. It promotes fairness in terms of business, how the business should be. In terms of if the business is responsible, it gets certificate of membership indicating that this business is playing a huge role in tourism, and also it practices fairness in terms of its employers, working conditions. It's a responsible of humankind. So we call that. So the F stands for fair, the T stands for trade, the T stands for tourism. So more info about FTT. So Fair Tourism is a non-profit organization promoting best practice responsible in Africa. So in Africa, this fair trade tourism, it's more of promoting fairness. Which businesses is promoting fairness, the best practice of in Africa, around Africa. Drawing awareness about responsible tourism. So the FTT, it's about drawing awareness, trying to teach people about fairness, about being responsible in tourism. It also assists business. It also plays part in assisting business to operate more sustainable. In terms of the business must be sustainable in terms of through membership, meaning that membership they can join and get certification programs, meaning that they should join and have programs that will make sure that the business will learn more about being responsible. So certification by FTT. So in order for a business to get certification in terms of being part of so practice by making sure that the fair wages, meaning that the people are being paid fair. B in terms of working conditions, in terms of the conditions that are working under, meaning that these things are practice. They should be done in businesses in terms of fair wages, working conditions that people are working under, fair purchasing and operation, meaning that the purchasing of the product that they are selling, if they are selling to others, it's fair in terms of the price they buy in, the price they selling, and also the operation, the way they operate. Equitable distribute on benefits in terms of equitable, and also responsible for human rights, meaning that respect the human rights, meaning that the business that is operating, it respects the human rights and cultures of people and environment as well. So those are the things that are being practiced in terms of responsible tourism, which is ABCDE. So by choosing this mark of best practice, travelers are directed contribute to the livelihood, meaning that the fair trade tourism plays a role in contributing to the livelihoods of everyone involved in the trip, from staff who work at the establishment, the communities that they support and supply provide them with the what, with the service. So it's making sure that everyone is benefiting in a what, in a manner that is what, that is right. Okay, so we have 6 principles of FTT, meaning the first principle is fair share, meaning fair share has to do that everyone that is playing part in the business should get the fair share. Fair share involved tourism activity should get fair share of the income, meaning that the income that is being made, everyone can get the fair share, meaning that the people must not get what they don't deserve. Everyone must get what they truly deserve, what is being agreed on. Fair share, fair cut. Fair say, meaning that everyone that participates in tourism activity should have a right and opportunity to participate in decisions that concern them, meaning that everyone must say something. If they are part of it, it's affecting them. They have a right and opportunity to participate in decision making if it affects them. That's the second one. Then the third one is respect, meaning that respect of human rights and cultures and environment. Respect has to do with safety conditions, uh, protection of young workers. Young workers, they must be protected. Promoting gender equality, there must be gender equality, no disadvantaging other gender, and also understanding intolerance of social norms, and also reduce consumption of water and energy, meaning that there must be no wasting of water. The water must be used in the right manner, and also the energy. No waste should be taking place. There must be a reuse, recycling taking place. HIV awareness, meaning that those who must be taught about HIV and AIDS, meaning that conservation of diversity, meaning the animals and plants must be conserved, and national resource. So those falls under what? And the third one, which is respect. Then the last one will be reliability, meaning that in terms of reliability, service delivery, tourism show reliable consistency, meaning that doing business with people that you know you can depend on, people that you know they will provide consistency. Basic safety, security for both visitors should be ensured, meaning that making sure that the securities tourists are safe when they're visiting your country. Transparency, meaning transparency has to do with ownership clearance. Employers, stakeholders should be able to access information that concern them. Um, must be accountable as well. Sharing of profit, benefits, losing must be transparent. Sharing of profits, benefits of and loses must be transparent. If we win together. If we get a profit, we get profit together. Number five, then number six, sustainability. Sustainability has to do with strive to maintain knowledge support, meaning is to increase knowledge through capacity of building, is to improve the use of available resource. A resource that are available must be used, and networking, meaning that you work with other people, you have partnership. Then the last one will be economic availability through responsible, meaning that economic vulnerability through the use of resources, reduction of leakage, purchasing, employment. So employment should taking place, and also there must be no leakage that is taking place. Support those people that have businesses that are on disadvantage as well. So this is talks about the six principles of fair trade tourism. So each principle is broken down. So it's important to understand these six principles. So yeah, then criteria that I complaints criteria for tourism product, business practice, HR, community resource, cultural heritage, environmental practice. So these are the criteria that are being checked on the business to fall under fair trade tourism. So the benefits of this fair trade tourism certification. So a business will have the opportunity of promotion sustainable tourism supply, descending travelers. So business will have the opportunity to enhance credibility because it will be known now. It will be known that it falls under fair trade. So it will enhance the credibility by showing, displaying the FTT approval and fair trade holiday logos in promotion material and website. So if they know that they are belonging to the fair trade tourism, now they will have the opportunity to display and show that they have been approved, and they can use that for promotion as well in their website. So that will help them in increasing the market access by being shown on the fair trade website, meaning that the fair trade will show this company it's belonging to them. So it will help them in terms of marketing channels as well. So it will play a huge role, um huge role. So yeah, so this was our last part that talks about responsible tourism, and also the fair trade tourism. So those ones are very key that a learner should be able to understand. What is responsible tourism? What are the 6 principles of responsible tourism? How to be responsible as a company as well, and also the code of conduct of responsible tourism in terms of environment, people, in terms of economy. So those are the things that you should be able to understand them before you write your trial exam or your final exam. Thank you from my side.